Hey, so first NFL job, man. How you feeling about moving up to the New Orleans Saints?
It's been an awesome experience for me, being born and raised in New Orleans and to coach at the college level for 19 years and then have an opportunity to come coach your home team. My life's been a dream. So the movie continues and I'm fired up and excited to finish the season the way we did and get some momentum going into the offseason. It's only going to add to the value of the free agency and the draft.
Man, and you're talking about that movie. You were a professional baseball player. I mean, is there anything about that experience when you were a young guy going through the baseball ranks that you're maybe passing down to these young football players hoping to make it?
Yeah, I think the biggest deal, being a former baseball player is that when you get drafted, you don't go to the major leagues. Like you start in rookie ball, single A, double A, triple A, and work your way up to the big leagues, right? And so for all of these players, no matter what school they went to, it's about working your way up to the NFL. And that's the top of the mountain. So those experiences that I have, I try to give to the players at every level that, hey, you got to keep on working no matter who the competition is.
Man, sorry, go ahead.
In your opinion, what skills translate from baseball to football? Specifically, I guess playing outfield and playing quarterback might have some involved.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. As far as defensive back play and baseball, I think really tracking the ball, like you said, you can take the proper angle, get good jumps on the ball, and be able to track the deep ball. And really, that's more important at the NFL level than in college, with the severity of the pass interference call, right? It could be a 60-yard penalty. So you want to be able to get yourself in phase and track that ball. And a lot of guys have to do a lot of work to get comfortable doing that.
And then, so you've worked with some absolute dudes. You've coached some absolute dudes. I mean, Jahdae Barron, Kyle Hamilton. What do you look for, especially in a time when you're only going to meet these guys for a few days, by the end of the week, a week?
I think when you mention those two players, I think the first thing that jumps out to me is football IQ. These guys really understood the game conceptually. And that's why you can see both of them have position flexibility, and because they know what everybody on the defense is doing, and they can understand how the offense is trying to attack them. I think when you look at the time constraints at every level of football league at this time, and you can see how these offenses have so much variety that you need guys who can really conceptually understand the game of football, and gives them the ability to change, adjust, and they don't have to take as many reps to make those adjustments. So with those two kids, that's the biggest thing that I look for when I meet with these players.
Man, has there been anything fun that's happened off the field? Maybe in some of those team meetings or just some of the sit-downs where you guys just eat some food or something like that. Any fun moments that stick out this week during
Well,
Sports Tribe?
in a defensive meeting, like I tried to talk to these guys about being thankful to the people who helped them along this journey. And we had a young man stand up and he talked about his third grade teacher where he was struggling in math class. And this teacher took extra time with him before and after school to make sure that he was up to speed in math. And so for him to get up and say that she was the most influential person in his life up until this point, that's huge. And I want these guys not to forget who helped them along this journey. It's all, your name's going to get called in the draft, the camera's going to be on you, but who really helped you along this journey? And taking the time to shoot them a text, write them a letter, give them a call to say thank you.
Man, and
what's the difference in between coaching college and coaching NFL to your eyes?
I think the big thing is it's still football, right? You play the same coverages, the field's the same length, but I think the biggest thing is that it's more about football. There's not a lot of the extracurricular stuff, and I think that's the one way that the college game's changing. Trust me, I'm all for the players getting paid, but I do think there has to be some constraints because it's a little bit out of control, and you're starting to lose sight of why kids are coming to school, which is to get a degree. And so I think when you do get to the NFL, it's about the business of football. And I think that's really the biggest difference.
And then is there somebody influential in your coaching career, or even just like a teacher that you had or a high school coach or anything like that that's kind of shaped you?
I think all of my coaches throughout my time, from my high school coach, Hank Tierney, who really showed me that it was more than being a coach. And I think the biggest thing that I try to tell all my players, no matter how long you're with me, I'll be the coach for you the rest of your life. I'll always be your coach. And I think that's very important because I think when you're a coach, you don't only coach on the field, you coach these guys in the game of life. To be great husbands, to be great fathers, to be great friends. Because at the end of the day, football is only going to be a part of who they are.
Man, and now that you're already back in New Orleans, what's a good spot that you're like dying to go back and just have some food there again?
Well, Drago's is my spot because of the oysters, but I can't wait to get back home because it's crawfish season, and I hadn't been home in crawfish season in a long time, so I'm excited to go get some crawfish.
And one last question, I guess, for me personally. You coached a lot of these UT recruits, from 2020 to 2024, and and some of them were like thinking of leaving, but they came back. How good is it to just see those guys, just really decide that they still want to play for Texas and
Yeah, like when you recruit a guy, you talk about, hey, I'm here to help make your dreams come through. And right, however long that journey might be at University of Texas, whether it's 3 or 4 years, I'm here to make your dreams come through and accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. Some guys do them in 3, some guys it takes 4, some guys it takes 5. Everybody is different. But the good thing is those players have the pen to write the movie of that dream. And so like for Ethan Burke, it was 4 years. Right, for Jade, it was 4 years. For other guys, Manny Muhammad, it was 3. So each player is a unique situation, but I think what Coach Sark does there is he embraces all those different situations. Andrew Makuba was a transfer portal too. So everybody, it's a melting pot and you can make it happen.
Coach, I have a question for you. What does it say about LSU having so many representative players out here, coaching in New Orleans? What does it say about the talent in Louisiana?
Well, I mean, it's the boot. And, they have a lot of great players there. And I think the biggest thing about Louisiana players is they're hungry. A lot of those schools don't have the resources that a lot of other high schools have in different states. So those guys, when they do get to places like LSU, where they have the resources, they're going to continue to grow and get better. And you're going to see them reach another level because there's still so much room for growth based on how they were brought up. But they're coming in there and they're going to be tough, they're going to be hard-nosed, and they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to be athletic.
I don't know if you answered this already, but how much of an advantage is it for you to get some scouting in and kind of get a look at a lot of your hands on some of these players?
I think it's huge. Watching the tape is one thing and doing interviews is another, but the face-to-face interaction, is unbelievable because you can really see who a kid is for his things that he does well, but also you can figure out what he doesn't do well, right? And can we manage that in our organization? And then I'll get the notes and I'll go back and report to the upper management, and then we'll go from there. But I think it's a huge advantage, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you,
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.